Cool.
All right. Whatever. By the way, did I end up making the list? No. But we're just going to wing it like we did last year.
I love that. All right, well, let's start with the tough one. Mike Greer, San Jose Sharks, first overall pick. Tell me a little bit about the player that they are going to be taking.
Felix Unger-Sorum, the greatest hockey player. No, okay. I wish. Yeah, I mean, there's only one option here. It's Macklin Celebrini. He literally, is one of the most well put together, most advanced in terms of just development already prospects that we've seen in a very, very long time. What he did in college hockey this year was legitimately unbelievable. Well deserved Hobey Baker winner. Two-way forward that has 100+ point potential. And again, he gives you that two-way ability. The fact that they've got the San Jose Sharks, when they take him first overall, they've got guys like him and Will Smith ready to go in their prospect pool, automatically gives them a major jump just in terms of if you want to rank prospect pools. And that's one that kind of needs a guy that'll give them that kind of boost. Last year was great. They got Will Smith. They made a couple other really nice picks over the last couple of years, but Macklin Celebrini really just kind of puts them over the top as far as game breaking centers.
Togo.
But it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more we want to. I think at this point everyone's quite familiar with Macklin Celebrini. But I still think it's weird that they have the projected first overall picks kind of attending or live streamed on the the draft lottery. It's what if they just didn't go for it?
Wait,
there's someone else.
Did they do that with Shane Wright?
Yeah, I think he he might have. I think he may have been, actually.
That's pretty awesome. For that reason alone, I need them to keep doing it. I need them to keep doing it.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous, but what's going to make it interesting? And it's not going to happen. Celebrini's not going to go back to BU. He will be playing the NHL next year. But does Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini, does that affect Celebrini's decision at all? What if he goes back just to beat BC? That'd be very funny to me. Obviously, it's not even remotely close to being a thing that'll happen. But I just love imagining that in my head. Sorry, I'm not coming. I got to kick the shit out of Will Smith right now. I'll be right back. But yeah, Celebrini to the San Jose Sharks. That really gives that prospect pool quite the boost. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's, again, we're all thrilled that it is not Chicago getting the first overall pick, but to our dismay, they're going to get another fucking monster of a pick here at second overall. We've talked about a lot of different guys. I know generally you have said Demidov needs to be number 2 off the board. Do you feel like Chicago, given their pool of forward prospects, do they go with a defenseman, or is Demidov just too good to pass?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think most teams in the league probably have Demidov not at 2, even though they should, because I think he is legitimately one of.
We should clarify. Are we going to do a mock of what you think will happen, or is this what you think should happen? And we'll go off whichever one you prefer.
It's a good question. I was just kind of riffing on both, I guess, now that I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I know that changes your first pick dramatically, but yeah.
There's
some precedent here at 2. Are we going with what Z would do, or are we going with what he thinks will happen? Isha, I'll defer to you since Z's not going to make a decision.
What did we do last year again? I think last year we did what?
I don't think we did.
No, we definitely did. We definitely did.
We definitely did.
I think it was just me.
Definitely.
I think it was me.
I think it was kind of a hodgepodge of both because you guys went fucking 3.
No, I think it was what I would do. I still I'll just go there. I would
Let's go
still
with what
take
Z would do.
Demidov.
Z's the expert, man. He knows more than these GMs. We all know that.
I totally get the appeal of taking the defenseman or one of those defensemen, whether it's Levshunov, because you've got the thought of him playing with a kid like Korchinski is very appealing. And in terms of young, high-end defensemen in their prospect pool. Like, they've got some guys with serious upside, but not necessarily quite the sure thing. But for me, Ivan Demidov is legitimately one. Like, he actually, like, over the course, especially in the MHL playoffs this year, he really closed the gap in terms of, like, how far behind, like, a guy like Celebrini he is. You know, he's going to play a bit. I'm sure he'll be a winger in the NHL. Doesn't really matter where he plays because, again, like, he is another guy that plays such a good two-way game. But, like, the sheer skill that he possesses and the way that he scores goals, like, he can score goals in any way possible. And the fact that his skating is, like, quite average, but he still will easily get around. He's not the fastest kid in the world. He doesn't have the quickest feet, but he's unbelievably agile. And, like, some of the moves that he pulls off, like just pulling off the wall with the puck and just dancing through people and then either going shelf or finding someone back door, like it is unbelievable. Like, every time he touches the puck, like, it's like a highlight reel play. I think in the playoffs, he was averaging 3 points a game for Scott 1946. Like, he is incredible, and he can do literally everything that you want a forward to do. And, like, he's better, like, his results, especially defensively, are way better than like when you watch him. They're like, oh, he is just like the highlight reel guy. No, he plays a very, very sound two-way game. It's great transition. And then if you get hemmed in your own zone and Ivan Demidov's on the ice, like, the puck's going to end up in the back of your net. Like, unbelievably creative, skills absurd. The shots a joke. Like, he just does everything offensively. And he's one of the most enjoyable prospects that I've watched over the last couple of years, like, ever. Like, it's just every time he touches the puck, he's making something happen. And he is a no shit game breaker. So if you look at the guys that Chicago's got going up front, and I mean, the thought of, like, if you want to put him on a wing with Connor Bedard, like, Jesus Christ, like, it is terrifying. So for me, the appeal is Ivan Demidov, just because, like, he's actually not all that far away from the high upside of Celebrini. And I do understand if you want to, like, look at the back end of their prospect pool and you want to take a shot on a guy that has a chance to be a number one defenseman, I get it. But at the same time, like, for me, it's Demidov.
Does he play in the NHL next year, or does he play KHL, or does he stay in Russia?
Yeah, no, he'll be in Russia. I don't even know what his contract situation is. I'm sure they're trying to get him to stay as long as they can, but he won't. Like,
they're playing.
It's not like there's only been no one that has the same, like, contract situation that a kid like Michkov did. Like, that'll never happen again. Like, that was like he was like 12 years old. They're like, let's sign him for 46 years. Let's just sign him. We're gonna make him heir to the throne. And he was never gonna leave. And he said, okay, fine, sure. But it's completely different. Like, it's so funny though that now, like, the high-end Russians, that was like, was there the Russian concern? It's like there was only one like contract situation that Matvei Michkov. That'll never happen again. Like, that.
I just mean you just don't see many guys come right out of the MHL into the National League.
He should have been. So he plays in Ska's system with that fucking dickhead coach. Like, he was the same guy that was scratching who's the Demidov until they traded him. He was scratching fucking. I mean, they traded Michkov. like it's just, that's how that fucking guy rolls. So they kind of just stapled him into the MHL, especially after he got hurt. But he, like, in the preseason when he was playing the KHL, he looked phenomenal. And again, I said it before, we had a couple shifts of Michkov, Husadinov, and Demidov, and it was a joke.
That's fun. That's fun. All right. Well, then the draft in your eyes, Z, begins at 3. And there's a lot of options here. But if you are the Anaheim Ducks at number 3, who are you selecting?
Yeah. So this is where, like, this will be interesting because, I mean, we all know, like, Anaheim's prospect pool has been, like, it is something else. And this is when we start looking at those defensemen. But at the same time, if you're the Anaheim Ducks, you have 7 guys in your prospect pool that look like top 4 D-men. So to me, that says you got to look at, like, those forwards. And, you know, of those top guys that are going to be right there, I think they would love to pick up a kid like, and I love him too, Cayden Lindstrom. You can play center, you can play wing. Like, this is his first or second year ever playing center in the WHL. Before he got hurt, he was eviscerating the WHL. Plays a really nice two-way game. He's got that nastiness, like, he is mean. He's big, and like his agility at his size, and then combined with the skill and the goal scoring ability and how smart he is, his upside is one of the highest in this class. Like there's like before he got hurt, it was a very common like thought that like he actually may have, just with the size, the skill, and like he might have the biggest upside in the draft just in terms of like what his profile of a player is. And I mean, he comes back from missing a couple months in the WHL. I think his first game he had like 3 points again, but this is his first year playing center. He's doing it unbelievably well. Like he's a playmaker. He can score goals. Like he can literally do everything. So if you look at that top six, what they've already got going on there, like there's a couple guys that you're still wondering if they're center of their wings. He's another guy that like kind of fits that mold. So I go Cayden Lindstrom here. He is fucking incredible. He's a very fun player to watch. So I'm going Cayden Lindstrom.
We actually have another guest joining the party here right now. A little late to the party, but you can ride shotgun with us. What's up, Seth?
That's our guy.
Some of us work for a large majority of our day, gentlemen.
I thought you were going to say work for a living, and I was going to lose it.
No, I realized halfway
say.
through. I realized halfway through saying that just wasn't going to play. So I tried to backpedal. Did we win the thing? Did we win the? Did we get number 1 overall pick?
Chicago didn't get number 1 overall, so everyone wins.
There is a God.
You literally just came from work and signed on here. You didn't even go on the internet. Wow.
No,
I love it.
I have to use my phone as a hotspot, so I don't have the opportunity to be on it. So I'm in cold. What did I miss?
Nothing changed.
What are you drinking right now? Is that some fucking kombucha? It is
kombucha.
Yep.
What is this? Yeah, look at Hoppy's face. He's disappointed.
If you don't have at least 2 rips of Jose during this stream, I don't know what's happening.
He's seeing what he's got.
All right. While he examines the stockade, I'll tee Z up for number 4 here with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Do we continue the run on defensemen? I imagine.
You mean start the run on defense? Oh, for
Start
Columbus?
Yeah.
This is like another team. Like they've got over the past couple of years, they've drafted some elite, high ceiling defensemen already. You've got guys like, we'll see what happens if he wants to stay there. Jirasek, Matejchuk, like Svozil. Yeah, Kulibin's that's not looking the best, but they pick up Strathman last year, Reshuk. Like they've got a ton of defensemen, and like some of the forwards are just looking a little bit questionable. So I think I go Berkly Catton here, the center out of Spokane. I love Berkly Catton. He's been dominant in WHL for like 3 years now. And another guy that gives you a little bit of everything, like also an elite 2-way centerman. Whether or not he plays center at the NHL level, we'll see. But just a monster year this year, 116 points in 68 games. Up there it is right there. And I mean, even last year as like that underager, he's got a 55 and 63 on like a not so great Spokane team. He's been their captain for the last 2 years. Like he's team captain or captain of Team Canada at the international tournaments. But diverse offense, again, the 2-way ability. I think he fits into some of the guys that they've got already there. So now you've got like the centers, you've got Fantilli, Sillinger, Delbel Baluz scored, I think 2 in his first game this year in the NHL. And I mean, on the wings, like if he ends up at wing, like he fits in there. Like he is a for sure top 6 player in the NHL. Might need another year or 2 in junior before he gets a look there. And I mean, especially when you just look at all the contracts that fucking Yarmo signed, you don't need to rush him either. So I take Berkly Catton number 4. I love this player. He's one of my favorites in this draft. He's a stud, and he's been a stud in the WHL for a while.
116 points and 17, man. It's just nuts.
And he's like, now, Z, I got to ask though, and I'm with everything you're saying. There's a lot of people who are surprised to hear that be the first defenseman off the board, given we've gotten Anton Silayev.
We have no defenseman off the board.
Levshunov. Like, yeah.
He's a center.
He's a
Anyway,
center.
He's a forward. Same thing.
Disregard.
What's
That's
the
what I get for
difference?
not listening.
Can he
Yeah, that's
defend as a forward?
He can. There you go.
But will he? But will he?
Oh yeah. He's phenomenal. He's great. He's one of the best two-way centers in the WHL, and he's been one of the best two-way centers in the WHL for a couple years. He is elite.
So does that mean Montreal is going to go back-to-back years being the first one to take a defenseman? And will Montreal fans basically make the person want to kill themselves? Because I hope that's not.
We'll see.
You can't say that on
Yeah.
YouTube. Stop.
Well,
I didn't mean it.
just did.
I didn't say he should. I said, will it make him want to?
I mean, Dad, that was such a fucking shit. Was
you
that,
can
was
bleep
that
that
last
later.
year?
Wasn't
That
it?
was such a fucking shit show last year, dude. Like, I still can't believe that was the thing.
Yes. I'll say what Cosgrove
You can
said.
say that. You can say that.
It's a more PC version.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull up.
Bluey Tide. Jesus.
He's gonna throw a defenseman to the Habs to watch the world burn.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, what's up, Andrew? Any thoughts on Utah? I hope they name them the Stormin' Mormons.
There will be thoughts on Utah after this pick.
Soon.
We'll probably spend a lot of time on Utah.
What's it coming here? 8-hour streaming coming.
Yeah, most likely. Jesus. I think last time it was what, like 4?
It was long. It was long.
Wait, the
Yeah.
actual draft or the draft
I
lottery?
can't remember. The lottery went.
Both you guys
Like
went.
4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was
that
really
one
long.
was like really long, but even this one went, I think, over 3 last time.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Oh fuck! Rangers are up 1-0. Gross.
I didn't take long.
I mean, half a period.
Yeah.
Everyone's
so-
giving copy.
God.
Everyone's giving you alternative things you could say in the live chat.
This is phenomenal, by the way. I need to bookmark all of this. Take a forever sleep. Make him commit Bluey Tide. Unalive themselves. I need more people. Give me all of the options I can use that won't get us demonetized for what I attempted to say earlier.
Anyways,
All
what do
right.
we got
Let's
next?
see. On to Montreal. Oh, hang on. We have for Seattle preemptively. Seth has the handle of the Kraken.
Gorgeous bottle. This is one of my
God.
favorite bottles, honestly. Of
That's a cool bottle.
it is like, and appropriately enough,
Wait,
Vegas
why is that
shot
appropriate?
Vegas shot glass for the NHL draft.
The Vegas.
Oh, because it's at the Sphere.
Yeah.
It's at the Sphere.
Now they don't do it anymore, and it's a bummer. But they, for about a year and a half, they had some limited edition, which I didn't know was limited edition. But they had a coffee Kraken, and like I tell you what, my dad crushed that shit. I would bring that up to the cabin up north. By the time I came back 2 weeks later, the bottle was gone.
It was good.
It dangerous on ice, just delightful. It's basically an espresso martini, just straight from the bottle. And Seth's got his first one down. All right, Z, talk Montreal.
I'm going back and forth. If we really want to watch the world burn and take another defenseman, because at this point, I want to. Well, I don't want them to take a swing on anything good. I don't want this to work out for them at all.
All right, hang on.
But
Z,
here we
let's
are.
go this way. Let's go this way. They're probably going to take a defenseman. I'll let you make that distinction yourself. But I want to hear if they went forward, who they'd take, and if they went defenseman, who they'd take.
Yeah, and I do think I actually am going to end up with a defenseman. I'm going to go ahead and go on full upside because the thought of Cole Hudson playing on the same team as Zayne Parekh, right shot D-man out of Saginaw, just got OHL defenseman, possibly player of the year. He's setting record. He set every scoring record for defenseman in the OHL this season. And like he has taken quite a few steps defensively, just in terms of like actual engagement. But I mean, he put up 96 fucking points this year for Saginaw as a defenseman. His rookie year in the OHL, he put up 21 goals in 50 games for Saginaw. He is unbelievable. And he plays with a little bit of edge too. So I love that. But like the thought of him and Cole Hudson on the same like just the same D pair. They probably have the puck the whole time. But he plays like it is. He's breaking ankles. He scored one of the best goals, possibly the goal of the year, a couple weeks ago in the OHL in overtime. I think it was like his 87th point, and it was just a joke. It was to cap off like a 3-0 deficit. Comes back in overtime, and then he puts up this ridiculous SportsCenter top 10 mode goal. But just the thought of like taking a swing on that upside there, I love it. And I do think Zayne Parekh is going to go very, very high, just because like at this point, the talent level is just undeniable. And I think he can at least make himself. Yeah, there you go. I think he can make himself a useful defense.
That is New York Rangers OJHL.
No, I had to do a triple take.
Yeah, that was like a quadruple take.
Yeah, I definitely.
And I've been to North York.
That's how good he is. He played in the NHL at 15. You know, like that's how good he was.
I didn't realize it wasn't New York until you just mentioned it, and I read it probably 6 times.
All right, but to avoid any Montreal fans unaliving themselves, Z, if they went forward, which they probably will, right? They've got to go forward. What forward would you take at this point with the players that have already come off the board?
If they didn't have, well, I don't know if I would actually have the balls to do it, but if they didn't have Cole Coffey there, is that where you just go, fuck it, we'll take the other insane goal scorer with that pretty much gives you nothing else? And Cole Yzerman, dude, imagine him. And they're like, who do we give the puck to? I don't know. He just set the record for the USN TDP most goals in the season, like eviscerated it. He is.
Wait, he did? I thought he was still a couple behind.
Yeah, no, he just did.
Oh, he just did. Okay. Now, this
I don't know
line aside, do you think Cole Yzerman, with how things have gone for him this year, like Corey Pronman's saying he might not even be a top 10 guy?
No, I think he'll go outside the top 10 at this point. Like,
wow.
Part of it is definitely, a lot of it has to do with the fact that he gives you one style. Like, he's not driving a line at all. He needs someone to give him the puck. He gives you almost nothing, like in terms of a two-way game. And like when you need that much help getting the puck yourself, that's going to obviously limit the goal scoring. But like there really isn't anyone in this draft that does what he does best better than him. Like he is the best goal scorer in this draft. And like he can score in a variety of ways. But again, like how many times he's going to find himself in different situations to score, it's going to be pretty reliant on teammates. So that's probably at this point the combination of that and how many guys have just like skyrocketed this year, like coming out of nowhere. Like we didn't have them in the first round. Now they're projected top like 15. That's hurting him too. Yeah. But I mean, no one scores goals like him, like in this draft. Like it is comical.
But that's it.
It's
right?
also look at that Cy Young. Look at that Cy Young right there. 25 goals, 9 assists. This is just the USHL stats. But I just in my head, it's funny to have him. Yeah, fuck it. If I was gonna take it forward, I'd just take Cole Yzerman because it'd be really funny to have him and fucking Cole Caulfield the same 2 Coles. There you go.
Whoa, didn't even connect that part, but yeah, that makes sense. All right, Seth, we doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Dropped my shot glass earlier, and so
I missed all that.
I was checking to make sure that I didn't break it, but I didn't.
Isha had like a whole ordeal once when he like had a sour beer that he spilled all over his computer.
No, it was with Seth. Too.
I remember
that.
First
time. Yeah. Oh my God. So that laptop still works. Actually, I got it working again when I was back home visiting in November. But yeah, I was live and I spilled my entire beer on this laptop, and that's what we were streaming from. And I remember, oh man, yeah, that's one of the first live streams we did at like my office back at the old THPN days.
You can't say that anymore. That doesn't exist. Oh,
never heard of her.
Too soon. All right. I am going to replenish myself with a nooner and pee quick, but there's a lot to talk about just Utah hockey in general. I'll let you guys decide. Do we want to start on just Utah hockey period, or do we want to get Z's pick and then go into Utah hockey? Sweet. That sounds fun.
I'll make the executive decision. Let's do Z's pick first.
All right, Z. break down the options for Utah at 6, and who do they ultimately pick if you're the GM?
I'm going defenseman, and I'm going Artyom Levshunov. Now you've got him, Simashev, and you kind of fixed like the Soderstrom problem. He has not really, been the guy they thought he was going to be. They took him very high a couple of years ago. But I go Artyom Levshunov. Like what he did this year in college hockey for Michigan State as a true freshman is insane. I think he put up well over like 1.5 points per game. He's taking steps defensively. That's always going to be a big concern. But like, given when he is engaged, how nasty he plays. Oh, so there was not. I was wrong. But whatever. Don't care. Gonna tell everyone I was right.
Don't care.
Yeah, don't care at all. But the thought of him and Simashev playing on the same pair is just incredible. Like two massive human beings who are some of the best skaters in the draft. His transition game is just unbelievable in terms of like offense. Plus, if you put him on a pair with Simashev is an elite defender with legit offensive upside. But if you pair him with Levshunov, you don't have to bank on that offense hitting for him to be an effective D-man. That's a ridiculous pair to think of for the future. So I go with Levshunov here. Again, what a year at Michigan State, 35 points in 38 games. And when he's engaged and when he feels like it, he is incredibly physical. He's going to have to just like the hockey IQ, the awareness, the decision-making is going to have to take a step just in terms, especially defensively. But, I think in the tournament this year, he made a couple questionable decisions too with the puck, but the upside is just comical. He plays like a forward almost sometimes, but sometimes on the back, when play starts going the other way, sometimes the controller dies. He's going to have to not do that if he wants to play big minutes in the NHL. But, and this is a guy that's probably looking at potentially going to the NHL next year as well. But in terms of like Utah making a big splash, taking one of the most highly coveted defensemen off the board here, and there's a good chance he'll be gone by now anyways at this point. But either way, if I'm them, I'm looking at a potential future D pair of Artyom Levshunov and Dmitry Simashev, and I am running with that. So I take Levshunov here. He's a very, very fun player to watch.
I just love how far we have come that you can say sometimes on the back end, the controller dies and everybody is going to know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, everyone's like, oh shit. Okay. He unplugged. That's not good.
It's a very good description. It's a very vivid description. I don't know. I like it.
Wild fans immediately get the PTSD from Mr. Klingberg. Now, in this scenario, let's say
that draft broke. It didn't die. It broke.
Let's say that the draft
Unplugged.
is laid out exactly as you've laid it out, 1 through 5. Can you see a world where the formerly Arizona Coyotes, now Utah, whatever you want to fill in,
hockey team,
give comments, can they pass on the BFR? That's their MO, right? For those unaware, BFR is big fucking Russian.
Right.
They have a lot of them.
Yeah. It's right up there. I was thinking that too, but like just the fact they've already got Simashev there. But Simashev can play both sides, so maybe they look at that. But in my head, the thought of a deep pair of Simashev and Levshunov. I mean, like Levshunov's he's Belarusian, so like kind of it's like little
still counts.
Gives a little hint of it,
Touch of the Russian. There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, they're banned from international play, so they count. Belarus.
Yeah, true. Dang. All right. Anything we want to talk about just with the existence now of hockey in Utah?
I've never needed a team to launch themselves into existence by taking the NHL by storm and figuring out a Mitch Marner trade. I've never needed it more in my life. Like
the live chat was saying that too.
You think they can beat Vegas to it?
It was actually driving me nuts. I was shocking at the last drop. Weird. I never go there. With my buddy Marinofsky, who's a Bruins beat guy. Well, actually, I guess now he's doing like prep school hockey out here. But I would we were talking. I was like, if I'm Utah, clearly Mitch Marner, like I can't imagine he's going to want to be there for very long. Like, how does Utah not at least make the phone call? Like, hey, what are we thinking here? And then literally the next day, he was like, dude, you should tweet that out. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that at all. I'm in the middle of the playoff series. I can't possibly do this.
I'm
and literally the next fucking day, everyone was just like, I think it started with Wyshynski saying, I was talking with a hockey person, and like they were floating out the idea of Mitch Marner to Utah. And I don't know how they don't make that up. I was like, fuck, maybe I should have done it, but I didn't because I'm a coward. And now I can't take credit for it.
Dude, no.
But now when it doesn't happen, I can take credit for not saying it.
But is Cooley going to be part of the return?
No, they won't. There's no way.
How else do you consummate that deal? What do they want from Arizona?
Well, I bet so the thing with the Mitch Marner trade, if assuming that happens, and like at this point, I have no idea if that actually happens.
It happened.
Again, if you're a Marner, how the fuck do you want to spend 10 more minutes there? But like they don't want to take anyone
unalive himself, by the way.
Like the cap space is like the big appeal there, and like obviously picks or whatever. But like I bet if they want a defenseman, they want a kid like Sean Durzi. Like he's young, right shot D-mid, like played playoff games for LA. He's been solid, so like they can kind of like fill one of those needs while just obtaining more futures. He's not going to be taking up a big part of their cap, so.
It was a 1-for-1.
And then there's prospect. Yeah, 1-for-1, actually. Jersey from Marner's right now. But
oh, shit. Are we all on board with Yetis, by the way? Like, I support it.
I'd be down.
They're not going to do Storm and Mormons. They're not going to do Smokers. They're not going to do anything fun.
Yeti's the realistic option.
Guys, does Joe Smith have to, like, move and cover this team? Are none of you familiar with the Mormon faith?
Joe Smith.
Joseph Smith was a prophet. Dum 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 dum.
Do you think there was a small part of him that panicked when they announced that they're going to Utah? Like, he was like, no. I just got here, bro. I can't. Like, please don't do this.
I'm about to have a kid. Like, this isn't gonna work.
Did he get like a follower boost?
Yeah,
he might have.
Hey, get this guy.
I'm gonna talk him into changing his display name from Joe to Joseph.
Oh,
Ryan Smith, the owner, called him immediately.
He's like, whoa, what do you think here? Tablets. Yes, we're done. Set.
Ryan Smith offered him AGM spot. You know, like fucking.
How do you turn that down? Yeah. Although he does like his alcoholic beverages like the rest of us, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, no, that he's gonna have to like. Yeah, no, he'd have to.
He's gonna have to find a mule.
Yeah.
Man,
right in the stroller.
Oh, actually, I prefer Yeti to Yetis. I don't care if it isn't the correct plural. It sounds better.
I think Cosgrove's trolling because of how pissed everyone gets about the Wild not being able to be pluralized.
100%.
I can't tell if he's trolling or not here because that's actually like a good comment.
Cosgrove doesn't comment without trolling, Isha.
No, I mean. There's like one out of his 10 comments on my streams anyways are
you're giving him exactly what he wants right now. He's loving it. He probably just got a nice
just like he went all in on two
Full
pairs.
House.
He is riding
Full House.
Oh jeez.
What a beauty.
All right. Let's go to number 7, which is
we'll get there, Poulter.
Kind of like the Ducks, just a little bit more advanced, but like I feel like we've stocked the cupboard as much as we can for Ottawa, and we keep on saying they're going to get through. They just hired their new coach in Travis Green, not Dean Evison, to Wild fans' chagrin. We are not sending Freddie Evison to Ottawa. Who do the Senators take at 7?
I'm going to keep the run on D-man going here. I'm going to go Sam Dickinson. London Knights, big left shot D-man. Put up 70 points, I think, this year in the OHL. And that's the team that's going to the OHL championship or the finals. They just actually took down
Surprise. London Knights going to the OHL championship.
Yeah, weird. But he's got legit upside. He's incredibly mobile, one of the better skaters as far as defensemen go in this draft. He's obviously big. He's not like he's physical, but he does a real good job of toeing the line. He's not going to take dumb penalties, but like there's legit offensive upside there too. But like his main calling card is his defending ability. So now you're looking at a team potentially having him and Jake Sanderson on your back end. You've got two top legit high ceiling defenseman for the left side. He can play on the right as well. Like, he is very, very good. And like, again, while he did put up 70 points, his big calling card is his defending. So I think Ottawa would look at him and be very happy to have him along with Sanderson. Again, he can play the right side as well. But you're going to use him. He's going to hit the NHL. He could probably give you pretty soon, like 25 minutes a night, any situation. So I go to Sam Dickinson here.
Fun. Way too logical.
Bro, do you guys usually have 1,000 bots watching on Twitter? Is this the norm?
Mm-hmm. Not 1,000. No, not 1,000.
Dude,
It's
shout out to the
like
1,000
500.
bots watching. Bunch of
Dude,
bees.
Elon's got to figure this out. I mean, I put up, what was the tweet I sent out? It was just ridiculous. It was something
A lot of
so
porn
dumb.
bots?
My nudes
my
are in
God.
my profile.
It's unbelievable. It was. I gotta find it.
I saw one
yeah.
recently from our boy Carlo Isha, where like one of the porn bots replied to him right away, and he quotes it like, "Not now. Vegas is in the playoffs."
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, like I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it right now, Ashley.
Oh,
Please.
man.
Not yet.
I tweeted out that
Love
Sergei
Carlo.
Bobrovsky's play in the first period was somewhere between like incredibly leaky and borderline Hall of Fame worthy at the same time. And I don't really know how I feel about that. Immediately, 2 responses: nudes and profile, nudes and profile. I was like, what the Elon? Come on, bro. Like, figure it out. That guy sucks. But fuck you. Come on. I don't need this in my life. I'm trying to focus here.
These nudes are MBN highlights. Period.
Yeah, true. I did tweet that out, and then someone from some dude from like that is in here. I don't know if he's in here today, but he responds immediately: nudes and profile. And I was like, all right, now I'm intrigued. All right, you have my attention.
Urban, Ottawa has so much talent already. Why do they suck? Well, a lot of the talent hasn't popped yet. A lot of the talent
What
in
pop?
their
No. What talent hasn't popped?
well, they still have one of the better prospect pools.
Explain.
I don't have it up. I don't even take in notes. I just
Why
want
didn't
to.
you make the fucking comment.
Well, because I'll get there. I was listening to a couple breakdowns today, and that was one of the reasons why they said they're going to go defense heavy, because they need someone to play with Sanderson who pops, and they have offense that they're.
Sanderson is one of their young studs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just piecing this together.
I listened to probably 50 of the 82 Locked On Senators postcasts this year, and I think in 49 of them they referenced the goaltending specifically.
Goaltending has
you know
been
what?
such a fucking problem for
The
them.
Wild
And
have a
like,
goalie. The Wild have a goalie available. I'm not sure if they're familiar with him, but his name is Philip
have they ever
Gustafsson.
heard of him? I don't know if they've ever heard of him.
If Gustafsson gets traded, I need it to be either to Ottawa or LA. I will accept nothing else.
I really,
Hey,
I really want that LA trade.
What about New Jersey, as our boy Urban says?
Dude, Markstrom's going there. Everyone knows it already. Not happening.
He wants it so bad. He got blue
Also,
ball
what
at
for
the deadline.
Wait. The Wild are going to get 10 overall.
Yeah, I don't
for
think they're getting 10
Gustafsson and a
overall.
fifth? What the?
Not even in this year's draft.
All right, I changed my mind. I
I'm in.
I do not need him to go to LA or Ottawa. I need him to go to New Jersey if that's the return. Holy shit.
Many are saying this.
All right. Z number 8. We have the Seattle Kraken, who just recently fired a North Dakota coach, and Seth is doing another Kraken shot. Here we go.
Why?
Oh, he's definitely excited about it. You can tell by the great facial expressions.
Yeah, because I just had a bunch of shrimp cocktail. That's gonna pair well.
Oh,
What?
In what world did you rush home from work and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna crush some shrimp"?
Wait.
I had a craving for shrimp. Get off me.
Get off me.
You had a craving for shrimp.
Bro, we're not even halfway through the draft.
the craving for shrimp. Oh,
As one does.
Somehow, with 5.4 seconds left, Carolina's up 2-1. Was
Yeah.
not.
Wow.
That's fun.
Who scored it? Oh, Gensel.
He does not have a shrimp for you. Sorry, Seth.
oh God, that's so good. All right. Let me focus in on the fucking Seattle Kraken now. Jesus Christ. We're gonna take a big swing here. Another boost for the Seattle Kraken fan base. Big name brand recognition here. We're going Iginla from the Kelowna Rockets.
Oh, I like
that.
I
What
love
he
it.
did this year, what he did in the WHL this season was unbelievable.
U18 Canada gold medal winner, not a big deal.
Yes, he was 64. Oh, and there you go. The stats are up. 47 goals, 84 points in 64 games this year.
What
for
a jump.
Like a pretty decent Kelowna team, but it was him. Every game that they were winning, it was on his stick. Like he single-handedly won them at least like 15 games this year. The WHL. He like the upside.
They were far
is
from the best team in their division. The Kelowna.
Oh yeah, like. And it was literally him driving the bus. Like every time he touched the puck, he was making something happen. Like the playmaking took like 10 steps forward this year. The goal scoring is undeniable. Like, and he just approached the game the right way. Like obviously, like having your dad be Jerome Iginla probably like helped a little bit. Yeah, it's
I don't know.
And
It
look
did
at
work for the Chuck boys, huh?
yeah, true. That's a good point. They're losers.
Tkachuk. I don't know. How would Isha pronounce that?
Yeah,
Takachuk.
Tkachuk.
yeah.
Pikachu.
Before this year, he was playing in Seattle WHL as well, so he's got some familiarity there. So I take Iginla. Like he is one of the most fun players to watch in this class. Like he highlight reel play after highlight reel play, and like he started the season insanely hot, and it was like, all right, let's see if like whenever he's somewhere, like he's gonna plateau at some point, and he just got better and better and better as the season went on. So I think he's got insane upside. I think he's probably solidified himself as a top 10 pick. So if I'm Seattle, I'm taking a big swing here on the upside in Iginla, and I'm pretty confident that he hits in the NHL. He is incredible.
Dude, and just take a second on it, Z, because I was talking about this before you jumped on, but like beginning of the year, we were like, yeah, like he might go in the 20s to, late teens to, mid teens to, he's a prime target for the Wild. And I'm like, now Z's probably got him between like 7 and 10. Here he goes at 8. Like, what have you seen in his growth? Like, is it more about him showing more, or is it other people falling?
Oh, it's him showing more. Like legitimately if you could watch every highlight of all the Kelowna games this year, and half of it is Iginla with the puck. And he's just so tenacious with the forecheck as well. Like, it's not just him picking up easy points against bad teams. Like, they're playing some of the best teams in WHL, and he's dominating. Like, he is right there.
Dean Evason's going to have a lot of fun with him in Seattle.
Oh, there we go. Love that.
Dean's not going to Seattle.
Where is Winnipeg the leader in the clubhouse now? For
That's
Dean?
So funny.
That would be
so
fun
funny.
if he replaced the Jellyfish Man. That would be fun.
He outlasted Rick Bones.
Z,
it's so weird to me, by the way, that there's still beef like between like people are like, oh, now bonus retired, is he gonna blah, blah. Like him and fucking Evason literally saw each other at like the coaches meetings, like, and they were like, what the fuck was that? He goes, I don't know. Like, they were laughing. They're like, that was funny.
Just trying to start shit.
Just like Boudreaux and Waugh. Crazy.
That was my favorite. I was going to bring up when Boudreaux, like, he's like, I see Dean sometimes like at the grocery store. I don't want to look at him. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up. Like,
we just had him on. He is tomorrow, if you're watching this live, for Fellowship of the Rank. And we'll just say he was afraid for his life when Patty Waugh was coming through the glass.
He's the fucking best, man.
Dude,
like he is
elite.
Bruce is amazing.
You did ruin it though, Z. One pick before Calgary
may have had something to do with it. May have had to do it.
Oh, look, and then Mateo says it too. Yeah, like that could have been we would have been monetized for the year just off of that one video. But now they decided Seattle is taking Iginla. Who does Calgary take as their consolation prize at 9?
So this is one that's good. Calgary has an interesting prospect pool as is.
That's one way to describe it.
That's a polite way.
It
of
is. Yeah.
Hey, 1,000 bots. Let's go.
He's
This
just
would be
generally interested by just emptiness.
Hey, Twitter bots, get in a discussion about Bitcoin.
I
now.
am subscribing to Twitter Blue as we speak.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I'm stuck between two.
Talk about him.
So if I'm going defenseman here, this is where I start thinking about Silayev because he kind of fits. He kind of fits a lot of the D-men that they're looking at. Like
they lost
they've got the
Zadorov
size
and
combo. Yeah, they lose Zadorov. But he also gives them the element that a lot of the defensemen that pull don't have in terms of like some kind of like legit offensive upside, but like the skating ability and just like the fact that he can give you 25 minutes of pretty reliable play. So if I'm going defenseman, I'm thinking a kid like Silayev. But if I'm going forward, and this is what I'm going back and forth on here, I think that a kid. Oh no, I think of another one. Actually, now that I think about it, God damn it. Ugh.
Just pick one. Just pick one.
No, I know it's hurting. It's causing me actual pain. Yeah, you know what? Fuck, I'm sticking with Silayev. I'm gonna go Silayev here. They've drafted a good amount of.
No. Who were you thinking about? You had a name right there.
He had two.
No, I had two forwards I was thinking of here.
Take the leap. Take the leap.
If I was going to take the big
that
swing,
could also replace one of the
home run, I was thinking a kid like Beckett Seneke. That's a Calgary Flame. Like that's probably quite the reach. Well, not quite the reach, but like a reach for sure. But like what he's shown this year, especially down the stretch and in the playoffs for Ottawa, like the size, how mean and tough he is, plus just like the ridiculous skill and high end upside. I think they would love that in Calgary. But then if you want one of the most well-rounded players in the draft at forward, I was looking at Consta Helenius as well.
I heard he's just falling now after the U18s, no?
What?
According to The Athletic, being prominent Wheeler, he didn't look that great in U18s.
The first two games he was legit, like he was phenomenal, and then Finland kind of fell off. The same thing with Emil.
Finland had higher expectations overall, and they just kind of fell off towards the end. So it wasn't just him, but yeah,
sure.
The first two games there he was, and what he did, like look at the stats in fucking Liga this year, like that, like no players don't do that, like and he goes in his point per game in their playoffs, like he is legit.
That's 17,
like, he is real good. So. I wouldn't be shocked. And like they've drafted a couple of Finns lately. They've loved their Finns too recently. So, but just looking at the pool overall, I kind of think just given the mix they have in the back end right now in that prospect pool, I think Silayev is a guy. And like I forgot how many Russians that they've actually been taking like over the past couple of years and like acquiring through trade. So. I'll do it. I'll just go Silayev here. We hit over 1,000 bots. Let's go.
Dude, so PK Subban has like 7 necklaces on in the crowd for the Rangers. Oh, he takes it back. What do you do? I'm going to let you do over.
No, I take
the card away from Gary Bettman.
No, I can't take it back now. It's funny. I just realized it and I looked at the chat and Mateo said it. I mean, like, Carter Yakubchuk, big fucking right shot D-man, mean as shit, put up crazy points this year in the WHL, playing in Calgary, the WHL.
So do you want to take it back?
No, I already said it. I can't.
Right, it's done. You cannot take it back. I won't let you actually.
What if that happened? 13. What if that happened on the draft floor? Like, oh shit! Wait! They kicked them off. They get the fuck out of here.
Hold up! Wait a minute.
We were not paying attention. We were taking a piss break 10 minutes ago. We thought that kid went already. Like it was fuck.
Okay. So then we get to New Jersey at 10. Is the assumed pick Yakubchuk or what happens?
No, this one I go Helenius.
Oh,
he's gonna be. He can play any position at forward. Again, unbelievably responsible two-way player. He showed his offensive upside in the Liga this year, and he showed that he's probably not far away from playing pro in North America. You give him another year playing in Finland, what he's doing over there is just comical. So I go Helenius here. they've loved their Euros recently too. And they've got plenty of defensemen, like top high-end defensemen already in their prospect pool. And now you've got the flexibility of a kid like Konstantinos, who I do think in the NHL will most likely be a winger if he wants like top 6. But if you want him as like a third line center, he is also perfect for that position as well. Again, you're going to be able to use him in every area, in every situation. So I think a kid like Konstantinos fits a whole lot of what New Jersey has going on already. So I go Helenius.
Fun. Okay. Seth, do you agree?
I do. I was deep in thought, but yes, I could not agree more.
If Jose Cuervo said it, would you agree more?
No. Kraken
he
rum.
Really wants you to get on the Jose on a Tuesday.
No,
Kraken rum.
Hey, look at that, Isha. You should have laughed
really
at that with your weed water. That was a good rhyme.
It wasn't that good. It wasn't
Jose
that good.
on a Tuesday.
It wasn't that good.
Where's the beer bowl?
I was just gonna. I should actually go grab it. To be honest, I was thinking the same thing.
If it's not an IPA, fuck off.
I literally drank my last IPA.
Then don't do it, please.
I have hams.
Put
I don't
hams in the beer bowl.
All right, we're doing hams in the beer bowl.
This is
We're
weird.
doing hams
All
in
right.
the beer bowl.
All right, the team that stole all of my hopes and dreams last year, Z, at 13, taking the guy you got me so excited about this year, 11th overall, Buffalo Sabres. Who do they take? Zach Benson, by the way, is the player in question.
I can't let him fall any farther.
I literally
either.
thought he was frozen for a sec.
It's never out of the realm of possibility.
Definitely not drinking weed beers. No chance.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're pretty set on the back end already, but I don't think we can let Z William fall any farther.
Oh,
no,
we need him to fall. We need him to fall, though.
You're talking about Yakimchuk for Calgary. He's not off the board yet, and you're going Bouillon over. Yeah,
I like Bouillon more than Yakimchuk as is.
All right.
Realistically, he's going to go top. He will go top 10. Like that's just going to happen. Like look at that. Like 50, a true freshman, 50 fucking points in 42 games, national champion. Like he is absolutely incredible. And like the thing that drives me nuts about people assessing defensemen who put up a lot of points, like, oh, well, he's going to have to work. No, he is already such a strong defender. So he's not just getting points. He will play. Like, I think in the tournament, I think he was playing 29 minutes a night because he kills penalties. He's obviously on their first power play. Like, he can quarterback a power play. Unbelievable transition. You legitimately cannot forecheck him. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him get blown up and, like, get the puck taken away from him on the back end. Again, like, the thing that makes it weird with Buffalo is how many young, high potential left shot demon they've already got. But Z Bouillon is another guy that can play either side. Doesn't really matter. And realistically, they might look at a kid like Yakimchuk, and he might be the guy they're looking at. Like, finally, we have that big, like, right shot D-man who, like, kind of fits that mold. But, like, I can't possibly let Z Bouillon fall any farther. So I still lean hard. Z Bouillon, that's such a fun back end for a prospect pool. Like, it is comical. So
I mean, it's not
I'm
even
going
a
Z
prospect pool anymore. They're all in the NHL right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right? But it is crazy to think that they could have that on their blue line. They're going to have to be trading several guys here in the next couple of years, which, I mean, good problem to have, I guess.
Yo, I got to just give a quick shout to Notorious. He's saying, happy for Sharks. As a Hawks fan, they've never picked first, so good for them.
Yeah, you
What a
skipped the
beauty.
first half where he doesn't like us. But yeah. All right, whatever.
That might have been me having shared that the draft lottery was definitely rigged.
Oh no, I've thought that for a while. And let's be clear, like, hand up, even though people like to say, like, oh, how did Pittsburgh get Sidney Crosby? Like, they did have the highest odds, but also you knew that if the team was about to move, they were going to rig it for him, and I have no problems with it. I will not apologize. I don't care. I acknowledge it. Just like
apologize
Fox
for
should
greatness.
acknowledge that Bedard was handed to them, even though they are a scumbag organization that, well, let certain unforgivable things pass. So we'll move on. Speaking of unforgivable things, the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah,
What a segue.
could we imagine?
Losers.
Could you imagine if ESPN went through all the trouble to have Celebrini at the draft lottery, and then San Jose is like, nah, we're good.
Maybe if there was someone that was even debatable for contending with him, like if we're talking McDavid and Eichel, sure, I'll hear you. I don't see anyone.
It's pretty clear cut.
Close.
It's pretty clear cut. It's just a funny
local tie, but yeah, it's fun.
I saw the comment graze the bottom of the screen, so I was like, that actually would be funny.
Z, before I get sad about whoever Philly snakes away from the Wild, how fucking insane is it that they're even picking at 12 with their start to the season?
It was really funny too, because they were like literally in second place in the Metro. They were like approaching the deadline, and then fucking the reporters are asking Tortorella, like, so like, what do we like? Obviously, this wasn't the start that everyone expected, and you guys have kind of just like kept it going. Like, are we thinking about making any big swings at the deadline here? And he was like, no, we're gonna be selling. Like, oh shit. All right.
Jeez.
I don't know if you're aware, I'm the GM and Danny Briere is my puppet bitch.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Danny Briere is the name tag. I'm the one wearing it.
Like he literally like, and it was crazy because like it wasn't like they were just getting lucky wins. When you looked at their like underlying numbers, they were a very good hockey team. And he was like, no, we're not there yet. Nope, we're going to be selling at the deadline. Why would we? He was basically like, why would we buy? Like, I don't know what. And like, realistically, fair enough, I guess. But like,
weird for the coach. Weird.
He literally, like, in a press conference, just like, no, fuck that. We're going to be selling anyone that we can. And we're going to be continuing to pick up futures here. Like, so I wasn't shocked when like they fell off at the end. I was like, well, he said he was going to do it, and then they sucked because they got rid of everybody. So like, I don't know, weird,
right? And then he followed it, Z, with, you know, whenever someone plays the Flyers, they just play to let the Flyers beat themselves.
Right? Yeah. And they were still in it last game of the year. That's what's crazy. Like they still were. It was that ridiculous last two games where like they were eliminated. Or no, not that. Who was
only
it?
They had
Detroit.
better.
Detroit got eliminated because Philadelphia won in regulation 2-1 on an empty net goal.
If only they had better technology at their disposal.
Steve Yzerman has never wanted to punch someone so bad.
He was just like, "What the fuck, John?" And he was like, fuck it." Like, suck on that. Yeah.
We got 12.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. All right. So wait. Who's Philly taking? Do we even get? We didn't even get
true grit. They're taking Rocky Balboa the 5th.
They've already got the statue, so no need. Yeah, who does Philly take?
He's like, I don't even want to make a pick.
I thought we were just making fun of it. All right, pass.
No, I know who I'm going to say. I mean, like, this is where we were just talking about Cardiac and Chuck. Like, if you want to find a Philadelphia Flyer on the back end, I mean, this year, I think he put in 66 games in WHL this season. He scored 30 fucking goals, 120 penalty minutes. A lot of those were 10s for just like putting someone through the glass, but he fought a bunch too.
He ended a bunch.
And he showed offensive upside this year that like he's always had a little bit in there. But the fact he put up 30 fucking goals, 55 assists, 30 goals, 41 assists for 71 points and 120 penalty minutes. Like he was on the ice only half the time that he could have been. He went off. Like look at even the year before he still put up 19, which like it's impressive. So he does have that offensive upside. He is fucking mean. Like finishes every hit. If it's a close game, the buzzer goes and it's a 2-1 loss, he's probably starting something as well. So I think Carter Yakimchuk to Philly, like he'll be an instant fan favorite just because of his whole style of play. Like he'll give you, and I'm not comparing the two players because it's not comparable at all, but like almost like a Chris Pronger type guy where he's just like, yeah, he's got that offensive flair, but like he's going to be killing you in front of the net, slashing guys on the hands, trying to fight everybody, throwing big hits. Like he probably attempts 45 hits a game. Like he wants to take everyone's fucking head off, which is like part of his problem is sometimes he'll go searching for a hit. This year he reeled it in a little bit, but the combination of just like the offensive upside that he showed this year, plus his ability to defend and like the toughness and meanness that he showed, I think Philly would be like, yeah, no, that's our guy. I think there's a chance he still goes like top 10 though, just because like the profile, like NHL teams are gonna love that.
I do feel like there's a good chance that like Hellenius slips, Yakimchuk is somewhere in the like 6 to 10 range, but I mean, at this point, we're splitting hairs. It's what did people think? And
I can't wait to see how not close this mock. Like, it's not going to be.
No, it's not going to be close at all. But that's because GMs are dumb and they're not going to listen to what you say. This is.
I will do a shot for every pick that is not right on draft night.
Seth, you're not allowed to fail, by the way, for the locked on bullshit draft.
Clip it.
Stay here for all of it. You have to be here.
I'm calling out.
Clip it.
I just called out of work tomorrow. I'm gonna go picking out a casket for Seth. He will be dead 5 picks.
I'll be in my hotel.
I want it to be a 2-person casket because I'm going to join him.
I'll be in my hotel room in Vegas, overseeing the draft on TV and in on this, and just.
Seth's
what are you drinking? What are you drinking?
Oh, it's a little too early to make.
No. I am very interested now.
This is Jesus's Last Supper. What is your last beverage?
Oh boy.
You got the St. Jesus beard, so.
I mean, last drink to ever touch my lips would have to be some sort of bourbon. I'll go with Woodford Reserve.
You. Wow.
Good fucking call.
By the way, shout out 150th Derby that you would not dabble in on Saturday with me. Asshole.
You didn't ask.
I didn't fucking ask. How dare you?
No, despite my exterior appearance of Kraken rum, Ron Diaz, and whatever else, I do enjoy a good bourbon every now and again.
By the way, I really enjoy thinking about Seth. Like, I'm going to Vegas for the draft, but he actually watches the draft from his hotel room and just gets absolutely wrecked, but just goes to Vegas. And he's like, yeah, the fucking draft is happening like 2 miles away, but I just.
No, he's on day 2. That's going for day 2. Day 2 tickets are a lot cheaper. He's a smart guy. Guy. I've gone to day 2 drafts before.
Full day experience, day 2 at the Sphere. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, there you go.
Day 2 is absolute.
Dude, I've gone to day 2 draft in Vancouver. It was awesome.
I mean, Z, you and I are going to stream Saturday day 2 now that it's on a Saturday instead of a Friday, right?
My God, probably. That's going to be brutal.
Let's do it.
Gonna be absolutely.
Isha, you're gonna have to charge to the soda pod account 2 IVs, maybe 3, maybe 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be like we're gonna be halfway through like the 6th round, and I'll be like, "Who are you taking here?" I'm like, I don't even know who is like. I don't know anything anymore.
Who's picking? Why are we still talking about this?
It's me. I'm taking me here.
Who did we trade John Merrill for?
I'm 30. Yeah.
All right. We're going to spend some time here, and Z, I want you to talk through at least
one guess
options, but we can go with several beyond it. I know who you're going to say, but I need to hear several options for the views, for the listeners. We need to go through multiple options. At 13, your Minnesota Wild, as Seth Topol of Locked On Wild and the Soda Pod takes yet another Kraken shot.
Oh boy, that's
Z,
gonna be.
I want you to first lay out who you see as possible options, given who's still on the board at number 13 for the Minnesota Wild, and then we can get into each of them individually. But give me a list of anywhere from 3 to 5.
Michael Brunson, Nygaard, right wing. Well, he plays both, but most likely right wing. Mora, my favorite player in this draft. He is already pretty close to being NHL ready. He is an elite 2-way forward. He's got an elite shot. He is virtually never out of position. Like, despite the fact that he's not the strongest skater in the world, he is more than capable of defending against the rush as well. He eliminates like any kind of scoring chance before it happens. Like he'll break up plays in the neutral zone, then start the transition himself. He literally can do everything. Like he doesn't really have any glaring weakness in his game. This year he had a slow start in terms of actual point production, but this is what I've said before. I have never witnessed a hockey player with worse puck luck ever. I think he hit 6 posts in the first few games. He was serving up backdoor tap-ins that missed. Mora was also a very, very strong team in the Allsvenskan this year. And, you know, he starts out as obviously draft eligible. He starts out in their 4th line. By the time, I think they were probably a week or 2 after the World Juniors, he was firmly supplanted in their first line. And I think he had put up points in 8 of their first 10 games after the World Juniors. Had a phenomenal playoff. No Norwegians ever gone the first round. He will absolutely be the first.
Is he a Swede?
And if you look at, he is technically, we're calling him a Swede because he plays in Sweden, and that's what we're going to do. He's phenomenal. Like literally, the fact that he is just not far from playing in the NHL already as is, it's a big plus. The only real question mark, again, this is what we said, I think literally I was talking about this like an hour ago, is just how much more upside is there, how much like more development is there for him. I still think there's plenty, just given like his offensive weapons. That in the Allsvenskan, it's a tough league to score, and especially as a young player, like it's not a high scoring league at all. But just given his growth this year in terms of like actually being willing to like use his shot, like experiment with the playmaking, I've seen a whole other like level of his offense. And I mean, I think he played like maybe 10 games in the J20 and it was like 22 points. Like he was just so much better than literally everybody his age. And then he didn't go to the U18s because he went to go play with like the senior team for Norway. They played Denmark. First game, I think the Allsvenskan, he had been eliminated 3 days before. They win 4-3. He put up 4 goals. Like he is just unbelievable. So when you look at the prospect pool that Minnesota has, it's one of the most well-rounded, like most diverse prospect pools in the league. Like you've got guys that are just like sharpshooters, snipers. You've got like some top D-men. Like you've got, I mean, who's Judd'z now? I would say graduated to the NHL. Like I don't see him playing in Iowa next year. Like I think he firmly showed that he can play. Like Liam Ogren, we'll see what happens with him. Like I think very small sample size, but he looked more than ready to play. And like how well he played in the SHL this year, that gives you a boost as well there too. But the fact that you can literally plug this kid in all 4 lines, doesn't matter. He's not going to change the way he plays. He's going to be incredibly effective. I think if he's sitting there at 13, which he should be, I think it's a no-brainer. But I mean, this is something that I've said for like a fucking year now, so we can like talk about other guys too that might be some possibilities. But for me, MBN is just like, it's a no-brainer if he's sitting there.
No, fair. And Seth, I know you've talked to other people about potential picks for this spot. I don't know. Is there anyone that's like stood out as like you've heard this name multiple times, or are there any guys you want to throw in before Z goes down the rest of his potential list?
No, I think it's the biggest question I have is whether Bill Guerin hits Danny Briere with a steel chair, or Bill Guerin and Judd Brackett do the Dudley drop through a table if Briere takes Yakubchuk at 13, because he
12.
just seems 12. Thank you. He just seems like the perfect fit for the Minnesota Wild. The type of player that just is what Bill Guerin is looking for. I just hope, honestly, and I haven't started to do my draft prep yet. I just hope that the Wild go BPA this year as opposed to drafting for like specific need like they did last year. Like if you have a defenseman that falls to 13 that you like, do it. If not, just add another forward to the chest. Like, I don't know. I just hope we don't get a pick that is as widely talked about as last year's.
Right. We definitely don't want to end up with another Riley Heidt. I agree. That's going to be our like new bit. Like,
yeah,
Charlie Stramel or Riley Heidt? Who is he?
By the way, everyone's looking out for you, Seth. Flyer Voracek. All monetization from the Soda Pod should go towards Seth's ambulance bill on draft night. We got Notorious. Make him drink liquid IV all day. He'll be fine. Which, by the way, with all these bots now, with all these viewerships, we need them as a sponsor.
Yeah, right. That would work.
Or just eat avocado and asparagus.
Oh, I'm gonna slug avocado all day.
Oh, cuttlefish and asparagus? Or vanilla paste?
That's such a good bet.
It sucks
such
because
a
like
good
the
bet.
episode is so like morbid and gross, but like the bit is so goddamn funny. That combined with I'm telling you, my mom, she's like a very sheltered person. Like she doesn't like watch vulgar things at all, but she loves South Park as long as I screen it for her. And that was the one time that I'm like, no, you need to watch this regardless. She about pissed her pants at Cartman dealing with his mom at Best Buy being like, oh, sure. Do you mind taking me out to dinner quick? Because I like to be wine and dine before I get fucked. About her getting him a Apple iPad and getting him the Toshiba Handybook instead. I believe in you.
Honestly, it makes it funnier seeing the outtakes and how many times it took them to record.
I was
those
just
lines.
thinking that. I was thinking about bringing that up on screen quick, but I was like, no, we gotta continue.
The first time I saw that on TikTok, I was crying laughing.
It's so good. So good.
All right, but let's all right. Back to focus. Z, who are some of the other guys that, let's say MBN's gone or that Judd just hates him? That's not realistic, but whatever. Give me a couple other names that you feel like would be interesting options for the Wild here at 13.
Well, one that would be incredibly interesting, and the slide will have to stop eventually, is do they just take a run at Cole Yzerman? Like the best goal scorer in the draft. Decommitted from Minnesota to go to BU, like just the ultimate fucking heel move. Take the best goal scorer in the draft. Like they've obviously got guys that can score goals in their prospect pool, but no one that can score goals like Cole Yzerman. You've got a ton of centers now after the last couple of years that can make plays that are going to get him the puck. Do you take a swing there? And again, there are the obvious question marks about his overall game. I can't imagine that he's a player that wouldn't drive a guy like Bill Guerin fucking up a wall. But he's also a guy I think like, and I mean, you're projecting years down the line, but let's say John Hines is still here. I think he is a player that absolutely could work with John Hines. Just given Hines' background and the type of players that he's coached over the last few or before the NHL, but that's one that's incredibly interesting to me just because, again, number one, the slide does have to stop eventually. Number two, the storylines are incredible. But, like, you know, we raise all these questions, but at the end of the day, nobody can score goals in this draft. Like Cole Yzerman, if you want the best player available, you take the guy that's got, like, he does the thing that's the most valuable in the NHL. Like he does that thing better than literally everybody in this draft. So the combination of all those things could be an incredibly interesting, just like pick there. And it's not out of the realm of possibility, to be completely honest with you, because Cole Yzerman, like as much as we knock him for the overall play, I will call on you eventually. Please sit back down in your chair, please. Yeah, thank you for raising your hand. But like he has shown at times that he is interested and he is engaged and he can be effective, but it's just so few and far between. He's smart enough to know that he can't just do what he's doing right now at the NH. Like he does, like there's no way. Like everyone's told him this, but then you're like, all right, is he that stubborn then? But what he does in terms of scoring goals, like it's undeniable. So the storyline, the upside, and just like. The slide has to stop. So it's just incredibly intriguing to me. Like, would they do it? And I mean, like, you would love to not miss on this pick. And I don't think Cole Yzerman's going to be missed. He's going to be a very good NHL player. I do think that.
Could be a miss.
So.
Goligoski moves the puck from behind the net up to John Merrill, up to Marcus Johansson, over to Cole Yzerman. He shoots, he scores!
My God. If Cole Yzerman is on the same NHL team as any of those players, something has gone catastrophically wrong.
That's unfortunate. Now, you couldn't have picked two more like polar opposite players. MBN has like moderate ceiling, but like his floor is basically touching the ceiling. You can't get into that room. Whereas Yzerman, like you're walking into a palatial estate, like the floor is so low, the ceiling is so high. I just got to ask, with his goal scoring prowess, supposedly, do you think he is willing to put the work in the offseason and shoot pucks in his driveway?
Only if the Minnesota Wild go out and rehire Tim Army. Like he's the only guy that can get that into these guys' heads and make them do it. I love that Beckman legitimately answered that question.
No, I was
like,
just gonna say I love how on
put
the
the most
show,
normal
he was like,
spin
no,
on
like,
it possible.
Yeah, no,
because realistically,
like,
that
I was missing the net. I was hitting the post, so like it was honestly some good advice.
And like, but the way he explained it is definitely like the way Tim Army meant for it to come off. But just the fact that he went on that podcast, he was like, "Yeah, I told Beckman just go to his driveway and shoot pucks." I was like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? That's what you told him to do?" It's still so funny.
And he confirmed it. That's all I needed.
As long as he doesn't take a weekend off to golf, I will be fine.
And no burgers and milkshakes, as we've learned.
No golf for charity, Seth. No golf for charity. Because we don't want to take away from his development.
No bowling either.
Whoa, hang on. I've heard that golf in the offseason leads to nepotism and buying your way onto Team USA under John Hines. So I think Boldy did everything right.
Many are saying this. Many. Wait, do you want? I have one more that I would love to throw out there because
give it.
One of the most intriguing players in this draft, Trevor Connolly. Holy shit! The offensive flick, what this kid can do with the puck on his stick is otherworldly. He's gonna go to Providence next year and torch college hockey. He might be, in terms of just raw skill, he might be the most skilled player in this draft. He is.
When you talk about torching, have you considered the swastikas?
Okay, I knew that was coming. I'm just gonna move on.
It was probably before you jumped on, but it was a real discussion, and Isha couldn't pronounce swastika. So,
wait,
okay,
what?
Great. Yeah, no, let's just stick on this. Let's just keep going here. Let's just not get out of this.
I'm gonna grab another beer.
Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah. Okay. You're taking, and I think there's a pretty good chance that he goes right around this range just because what he did in the USHL this year. The big question with him is, can he be less individualistic? He needs to figure out more consistently how to use his teammates, but every single time he touches the puck, he wants to make that fucking legit.
You're saying that he should be more inclusive of other people. That's all I'm hearing.
God,
could you take that gene
this
from
is
him?
Outrageous. This is
could you
so
take
bad.
that gene from him and give it to Matt Boldy?
Sure.
We
can just move on.
I'm just going mute. Go ahead. Say what you need to say.
No, it's done now. We can move on. He's one of the most skilled players of this draft. He probably has the most highlight reel plays of any player of this draft other than Demidov. So there you go. It's done. Okay, we can move on. Next, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going to the next team.
It's great because Isha left, so this is just gonna sit here on the screen. Actually, I can remove it. All right. All right. Next up is at 14, to my chagrin, San Jose Sharks get the Pittsburgh Penguins pick this year because they were not able to pull typical Gary Bettman things and get into the top 10. Sharks already have Macklin Celebrini. Who do they take here at 14 after the Wild have now, as we've discussed, taken Michael Brandsegg-Nygård?
Do I want to go?
Go with another three-name guy or three-name player.
Yeah. Three-name guys aren't coming until later in the draft.
There's another one on the board.
There's some good ones.
There are a few.
Leo Saline Wallenius?
Yep, that is exactly the one that I was looking at.
Great fucking name. He's not
great name. Great name.
Sickening.
I'm gonna take another swing on some. Oh no, I really want him to go to. It'd be so much more fun in Detroit, though. Yeah, at this point, actually, I don't really want to make him fall any farther, and I don't even know if you. I guess maybe it's not necessarily falling. This is right around where he should go. Liam Greentree, left shot, right wing, out of Windsor, 6'2", 200 pounds. He put up ridiculous numbers in the OHL. 90 points in 64 games. Windsor was an absolutely horrific team. Like, he
still managed to have a third of the minus that Connor Bedard did.
There you go. There you go. So this is a kid that was pretty much on his own every single game for Windsor. And he might have like the craziest mixtape of any of these kids. Like, the goals that he was scoring, and just the only time they were winning games was because he would just take over. And again, I cannot emphasize enough how bad this team was. This is a team that sold all of their pieces to bring in, like, over a couple years ago, like Shane Wright. They brought in, oh my God, the Brett Harrison, Bruins prospect, like that year, same year. Like, they gave away so many.
They scored a shitload of goals, though.
They gave up. You should have seen the goals they were giving up. Like, it was pretty much every time the other team touched the puck, it was like, they might. It's probably gonna go in here. It was pretty much literally him and that Abraham kid, like, on their own. But like, Liam Greentree literally made it happen every single time he touched the puck. And like, defensively, he is at least engaged. The fact that only dash 14 is actually, like, it's almost impressive with how bad that fucking team was. But like, he took over almost every game that he played in this year for Windsor. I know for us at Smart Sky, we have him in our top 10. Like, the upside is just comical. And plus, he gives you the size. He loves to, like, throw hit on the forecheck. So I go Liam Greentree here. I love that mix, sending him over to San Jose. If you get him and Celebrini in the first round, you're loving it.
I reacted because I just looked at their record and their numbers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's horrific. And he put up 90 fucking points.
Oh, the joys of coming off.
They give up 360 goals in 68 games.
Yeah.
How can you not get Greentree on the Wild? It's just so perfect.
Well, once we had to move on from fucking Connolly so fast, because I remember I brought him up with Minnesota before. I've literally brought him up for Minnesota before.
Minnesota already has
We've
one
done this on this
elite Connolly. We're good.
And Isha has the ugliest jersey in the league on right now. Good for him.
360 goals divided by 68 games is 5.29 goals per game.
Yeah, they were. Like,
they're poor goalies.
Meh.
They were starting the first period down 3-0. Like, they were
still somehow less than Chicago averaged giving up all season.
They were so bad. Like, they were so bad.
Oh,
yeah. And Liam Greentree did that.
So wait, am I hearing this correct, Z? That you are going to let Yzerman fall to Yzerman at 15?
Yep.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's horrific. I hate it. But that's what we're doing. The slide officially has to stop here. Like, it does. We can't let him go much farther.
Stop the slide.
I really can't.
Stop the slide. Stop.
Detroit, the big question I had was whether they would keep going with the Swedes. Taking Alphonse Fry here, that's like logically the first Swede off the board. That's too rich for me. And plus, they've got plenty of defensemen over the last few years. So they take a big swing on the goal scorer here. They go with Cole Yzerman. Yzerman to Yzerman. We love that. Pretty fun. Hate that for everyone else, though, but love that for Detroit. And I mean, they're in a spot where they can afford to take that swing too. Like, so I go Cole Yzerman, some Detroit, move on.
Move on.
I don't have much more to add on that because it makes me sick to my stomach.
All right, then who is the final piece to Z, I think between us mutually, one of our favorite prospect lines has to be Rick Dvorsky, Jimmy Snuggerud, and who goes 16 to St. Louis. Is it another forward to finish that line, or
Sure.
is it a defenseman?
Sure is, and it's I've brought him up before. Beckett Seneke is the prototypical St. Louis Blue if Craig Berube was still their head coach, because he flashes some of the plays that he's made, like the highlight reel goals that he scored, some of the plays he set up.
What
it
a
almost
fucking
looks
hairdo!
Like,
oh my god!
Yeah. It almost looks like he's like making it up as he goes, and it's like, oh shit, it worked. But then he's like, it's like he's like a 90% success rate with it. You're like, maybe like he just is kind of like nuts. I don't know, but he's got some ridiculous hands, and the fact he's a big kid, he's another kid. So like we talked about this with Cayden Bankier. He hit like a growth spurt when he was like 16, like a couple of years ago. He went from like 5'10" to 6'2" overnight, and was like, oh wait, now that like I am 6'2", me being a prick on the ice and just like killing guys, it's even more effective.
Turns out it tracks. See somebody get
so there you go. Now
here?
We've got Seneke highlights coming up. Some of the plays that he makes, again, like he can make plays like assists. The goals that he scores are comical. Like he makes guys miss despite not being the fastest kid in the world. This video quality is so funny. I don't know if it's just me, but like,
Sorry.
It's just not.
I'm glad it wasn't. Just
I didn't know it was that bad.
I was like, am I looking at a flip book that's missing 20 pages?
The pixelation there was just so good. It was like he picks the puck up at the red line, and then it like pauses and the puck's in the net. It's like, how did he do that? It's like, yeah, that's how he's making it up as he goes. It's just great.
It started off so good. I turned away from my tab and I was like, oh god. Sorry about that.
But yeah, and like there are a lot of games where he's playing with Kumpalainen too in Oshawa, so I've been able to watch him a whole lot this year. So I think he's gonna go right around this range, like especially when you look at his playoff numbers. Like he took over the playoffs for Oshawa. They will be playing London in the OHL finals there. I think he missed actually game 7. I don't know if it was injury. He may have got himself suspended. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But
he didn't take his skate off and try to stab somebody, did he?
Nah, he might. It's up his. That's something he's got in his arsenal. He's not afraid to pull that one out. The game gets.
Anybody that's got a little Happy Gilmore to him, I can get behind.
But offensively, he's kind of just like that jack of all trades, and he's going to run you through the glass in the forecheck, make you look like an idiot once he wins the puck back, and it's going to end up in the back of your net. So I think he actually might be one guy that goes closer to 10 that we don't really expect. But at this point, with how well he played in the playoffs, with how well he played, like closing out the season in the OHL, at the start of the year, I think this is honestly probably, now that I think about it, close to the range he was in, I guess. I think we like the upside, maybe a reach like before the season started, but as the year's gone on, like he's just gotten better, and like the two-way game's legit. But the fact that he's able to like play at his size after like literally again, like growing 5 inches overnight, and it immediately worked for him. There are a lot of guys that have that issue where like all of a sudden they're like, I have no idea how to do anything anymore. Like my body, like I grew and now nothing is the same and I don't know what to do. He used it to his full advantage. And again, he is a fucking killer on the ice. That also just goes sports at our top 10 mode almost every time he touches the puck.
Nah.
And that'll do it. That's one that I actually am. That's one pick. I'm if he's sitting there at 16, I would actually be pretty surprised if St. Louis isn't like, he's sitting right there. Absolutely. Thank you.
Let's not overthink this. Let's just go.
He's already in their Amazon gift bag. What's it called? The shopping cart. Yeah, he's in their Amazon shopping cart already, just waiting.
All right. Before random nonsense and bullshit, Z, is there anyone that you feel we need to touch on that's like a strong honorable mention that could easily be in this top 16 group? Or do you feel pretty good about the people we picked?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple, like specifically Michael Haig, the USHL for Chicago Steel. Like, I've briefly touched on him before. Like, the end of last year or over the summer, he had to get full on, like, insane shoulder surgery. Also, within a couple weeks, like lost his dad. Like, so he starts off the year like at the bottom of the bottom. And this year in the USHL, once he got healthy, he was probably a top 5 player in that league. He's going to go middle of the first round. He's got size, plays a ridiculously solid 2-way game. Actually, yeah, I guess he got hurt earlier in the year last year. I think about it. But he is going to be on a whole lot of teams' radars. Like, I think through 20 games, he may have had like 8 points, and then he finishes through like 54 with 75. Like, he is unfucking believable. So that's one guy to for sure keep your eye on, because I do think there's a chance he goes right around that 15 to 20 range. And actually, that's very likely because he is that good. But like the fact that he like not even finished the season, like right around the halfway point, picked it up to this degree, and then just showcased things that he's never showcased before in terms of like that 2-way game. I think he's a guy to keep your eye on. And then another guy is like in the USHL, Sasha Boisvert. He is a stud. Another big centerman, plays a good 2-way game. He's fucking mean as fuck. And he has some insane skill, point production like his. He's got a very high ceiling. I think he's going to go right around that range too, probably closer to like 18 to 22 maybe. But another guy that a lot of teams are going to look at and say, yeah, he plays like the NHL style already. Love the way he plays the game, and he's got that upside. Like, you take a swing on that kid too. Which is kind of like just the overall theme of this draft. It's like there's a whole lot of kids with some crazy tools that haven't put it all together consistently more than like this year. So there you go. Yeah, Sasha Boisvert with Muskegon, 68 points in 61 games and 86 penalty minutes. Can't say. He is an animal. Like, he is a beast. Like, he's going to be very high on a lot of teams' radars. So I'll also be curious in this draft if how many teams trade back. Like, that's the thing I'm really curious to see, because there's so many kids that like with legit ceilings that you can pick up later in the first round, that you can work with and develop to turn into like real solid contributors in the NHL. So that's one of the themes in this draft. I'm curious to see if it happens. We say this every year. It happens every so often, but I think they're like, we talked about this with Minnesota. Like, they can afford to do that. They want to pick up a bunch of like mid-round picks too. Because I think there's going to be a ton of guys that go in this draft like second, third, fourth round that turn into legit impact NHLers.
Dude, the fact that he didn't go to the Q and he went to the USHL is awesome.
Yeah,
already a beauty.
Ripped it up.
What's the Q?
The QMJHL.
Never heard of it.
Some fucking shitty league that we don't even need to talk about.
Is that like the WHL?
Okay, stop. Stop it.
Oh, actually, though, 2 players that we've talked about before that right at the beginning of the year suffered basically season-ending injuries. 2 defensemen. I am so curious to see if they end up going in the first round still. Yersek, Adam Yersek, brother of David, brother David. I think he's going to go first round still, and like possibly close to 20. Like, big right shot. We're going to have to see how bad that injury is going to affect his like mobility, because that's a big part of his game, especially just like breaking the puck out, evading forechecks. I still think he's going to go higher than a lot of people have him, just given how much time he's missed. But like, before he got injured, like, he was definitive top 10 kind of guy. So I'm real curious to see where he goes. Again, I do think he's going to go first round still. I mean, look at like the consolidated ranking on EP, still at 17. Like, he is legit. And then Aaron Kiviharju, I think at this point he's going to fall out of the first round, dude. But that upside is no joke. He came back, played in the U18s again. Same thing with Hellenius. Like, first couple of games, he looked great. And as the tournament went on, he just like all of that whole team for Team Finland, like, it just didn't happen for him. But there were flashes of you see like that upside. He is just incredible. He was a double underager a couple years ago to Hlinka, best player of the tournament. Like, he is phenomenal. But like, that injury just destroyed him this year. And even before that, like, it was a slow start, but I'll be curious to see where he actually ends up going. I do think at this point he probably will fall out of the first round. The only way I see him going first round is like one of those teams with 2 picks. Do you take a swing late in the first? I don't know, but yeah, I mean he barely played this year.
Judd.
Barely played this year.
Second round Judd.
Trade Rossi for another first. Trade Rossi for another first.
I can't even
Just
think about that.
kidding.